Have you ever felt trapped? Um, I remember snowboarding this one time, and I was out in the backcountry and cruising through some trees, and I fell into a tree well. Now, I'd love to show you what a tree well looks like, but we don't have any snow here in Minnesota, so I'll just have to explain it. A tree well is basically the area right near the tree trunk, kind of where the branches cover, usually an evergreen, where there's not a lot of snow that gets in there. So all the open areas around it have been built up to a certain height. And right around the tree, there's no snow. So there's a hole right there. And if you get too close to the tree, then you fall into the tree well, you fall into the hole. And these holes can be pretty deep sometimes. It depends on how much snow they have, but out in the mountains, sometimes it can be 4, 6, even 10 feet deep. And if you fall into one of these tree wells, it can be really dangerous, especially if you fall in head first and nobody knows about it. Now, thankfully for me, I went in feet first and it wasn't a very deep tree well, but I still felt trapped, and it was still very difficult to get out because you have to get your board off and then you have to climb out, and the snow is soft and falling apart, and it's just kind of chaos, right? But I can always remember that feeling of being like I was separated from my group and I was stuck in this hole and I couldn't get out, and like I was working hard and trying to climb out, and like I was just exhausted, and I was a little scared that I was gonna get left out there in the dark or something. And I felt trapped. Feeling trapped is not a good feeling, and I'm sure that you guys have felt that way at some point in your life. I remember another time I went surfing and a big wave came crashing down on me, and it pinned my body to the bottom of the ocean for a little while. And that was scary, being trapped. Even when I was a little kid, like wrestling with my friends, if they would ever get me into a position where I felt trapped, like, and they were on top of me, like, I didn't like that. And I would just freak out, kind of lose my mind. So we can get trapped in lots of different ways, whether it be physically or emotionally or mentally or spiritually. We can get trapped in a lot of different ways. Hebrews 12:1 says that sin so easily entangles us. It gets us all trapped, right? We get wrapped up by temptation, by lies, by sin and evil in our life. Even evil thoughts like lust or depression or thoughts of suicide, right? It can feel so overwhelming in our life that we feel trapped. Throughout the Bible, there are even stories of people who are possessed by evil spirits. And these people had to be bound by chains because they were so harmful to other people and to themselves. And so Jesus came to set us free, right? And in Psalm 34, there's this guy, and his name is David. He was a king, and he was being chased by his enemies into a foreign country. And this foreign country also wanted to capture David. And now he's being chased by his own people into this country. And so he's literally trapped, like he can't get out. But in verse 4, he wrote, "I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears." And again in verse 17, he writes, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles." Guys, when we seek the Lord, when we cry out to him, he hears us. He hears you. But not only that, he can deliver you. He has the power to deliver you, and he wants to deliver you from your fears, from your troubles, from everything that's entangled you up and is trapping you in. So if you're a disciple of Jesus, you probably have already experienced this deliverance in some shape or form in your life. You've been delivered from sin. You've been delivered from fear, maybe addictions, or whatever it might be. You have experienced this deliverance, and it's an incredible feeling when you are delivered from something. If you haven't experienced deliverance in your life, do what David did. He called out to the Lord. He sought the Lord. And Jesus actually teaches us how to do this in prayer in Matthew chapter 6, verse 13, he says, "Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one." This is a prayer. You can pray and ask God, say, "God, deliver me from the evil one. Deliver me from my addiction. Deliver me from my fear. Deliver me from whatever it is that's holding you, whatever it is that has trapped you." So I want to encourage you to seek the Lord, to pray, to cry out to him, because he hears you. He loves you, and he will deliver you. If you're struggling or you're in need of prayer today, I want to encourage you, reach out to myself or one of our staff at JSAW. You can even leave a note down in the comments, and we would love to pray for deliverance with you. God bless.